Folks, would you please welcome Bambi Thug!
Guys, you may feel I'm absolutely crazy, but no, I would be very curious how many of you also listen other Bambi's song than Doomsday Blue. Yeah.
I am feeling very old right now.
I see the scars in your eyes!
Today I'm going to talk about Bambi Thug, originally Bambi Ray Robinson.
Show you that I'm just a person.
I was very curious, what is this polarizing artist? The artist with very specific, as she say, Oja pop or a smash of everything music can offer, and not just Doomsday Blue. And I can guarantee you guys, there is much more, and it's great. You probably already know what is my feeling about the Doomsday Blue, and honestly, even after many days I'm listening to every music Bambi Thug released, I didn't change my mind just a little bit. And that is, when you're listening to her songs, you understand that the context really matters. Her last EP, which is called Cathexis, is brilliant. It's a storytelling. How I read it, because I've never found out the information about it completely. Maybe it's somewhere on the internet or I missed something. But my theory is that it's about a huge love with a bit of reality into it. And all the emotion, how is it connected with all the breakups and heartbroken and so on in Bambi style, which is very emotional. Actually, there are amazing music where you can see how a person suffers from love, getting through it, you know. Doomsday Blue basically is hexing a guy like, you're ouch! You're gonna suffer, and I want you to suffer. But the other songs are about, I miss you, and I know what you did last summer. And if you put all of it into the context, you will understand that Doomsday Blue can be also taken very differently. And I must say that this context really helped me to understand the song, or more accepting it. It makes sense now. But is this the best song of the EP? Is this the best song Bambi Thug ever did? And here we go. Bambi Thug is representing Ireland with this song at Eurovision. But really listen her music. She has so much better options to offer by musicality. I understand that this song was chosen in the way that it's different. Also, it's different from what she is doing. This Oja pop is there. I believe this is kind of a demonstration. Even not everybody can understand this contrast. What is very fascinating is that the rest of the songs, every single one, doesn't have such contrast, because they're connecting the same styles together in more or less aggressive way, but it's not so jump from something to one other. As she said, it's a smash of everything. I don't see it in the other song because they are very similar to other styles. The combination switch goes together and they are absolutely brilliant. But when you read something about Bambi Thug's story, you will understand that maybe Doomsday Blue is a symbolic, you know? It's this contrast, like of this very sensitive, very gentle personality with some crazy twist, which also is pitifully in Bambi's life. And this is how she expressed the music. But what is very important, that every single song on her album has a quality. And not just this, Egregore, one of my best songs this year I've heard. It's something that really reminds me Korn, so if you're in this music, you will find yourself very familiar with those very current twists. And this is what Bambi as an artist is amazing in, combining sounds and melodies which are amazingly coming together in a very modern way. So it's her music can sound like something you know, which is great because it's familiar, but also her music feels kinda original, different appeal, also her tonality of her voice. This all is mattering, and you know what? I'm very glad that I spent this time with Bambi because
Done the Eurovision thing?
it opened my eyes a little bit. What I found, it's also extremely important, she got support. She got supported by her own country, by Ireland, which is never really supportive to their artists. Everybody is like, oh, we cannot do. Somehow, Bambi made a change, and it doesn't matter if Ireland will make it to the finals or not, if the song is accepted by me or people like me with different tastes, maybe different musical ears, whatever. What matters is that Ireland put a lot of pressure on Bambi's shoulder. If Ireland will support and kick this as a start for new era of their Eurovision entries, of their Eurovision passion. And you know, it's ironical that a controversial artist like Bambi made it. I also watched this Pornhub music video, which actually is not pornish at all. It's like more nude, more naked a little bit. It works. It makes sense, you know. It's nothing else. And what I must say, and that's impressive, and I love it the most, are Bambi's music videos. They are having not just perfect aesthetics. They have the depth. They are amazingly shot, they are amazingly edited, and you know, I wish all the Eurovision artists has such a style, because what Bambi has, this witchy, controversial, maybe for somebody, visuals, also makes her amazing artist, you know, because she has a face, like you can say this is Bambi Thug, and I think this is extremely important for artists to have a face. And you know what you can kind of expect. You can expect experiment in everything, even though I would say that her EP, it's not experimental that much. It's mixed perfectly, it uses all mathematics of music, it speaks the language which will be very, very familiar to you. And that's where Doomsday Blue goes a little bit different path. For me, this is also a big question in my head, like why they've chosen exactly this song. Why this song? Is this too Eurovision to scream, to be that much different? Maybe it's not up to me to decide. Only thing is that for me it's a little bit pity that they didn't choose any other song from the album, because I just think they are better. But you doesn't need to agree. The Mania in Ireland started, and also I was very, very curious what Ireland thinks, what Ireland really thinks about Bambi, and how the Mania continues. And that's what I learned from Deven O'Kearney. Thank you, my friend, for sharing with us.
As soon as their performance ended, you know, the whole audience was just like, Bambi, Bambi, send the witch. And the host on the night, Patrick Keelty, he just looked at the audience who were just cheering Bambi's name, and he did this gesture, you know, the mic drop gesture, and he's like, that went big in the hall. So it was you kind of knew what to expect after that performance. You knew that Bambi was going to be one of the top contenders on the night. Yeah, I just thought to myself, oh my God, just because I was a big fan of this, and I would have loved to have seen an act like Bambi Thug at Eurovision. Like, personally, like, no act from Ireland or who tried to represent Ireland has ever gripped my imagination quite like Bambi, because when you think about what Ireland has sent, particularly since we sent Dustin to Turkey in 2008, leaving Jedward to the side, Ireland has tended to go for the least risky option, like the most safe option, the most generic option. And I was worried that we weren't going to get out of that rut of just sending the most bland, generic, vanilla. And I say that with all due respect, of course, to, you know, all of the acts who have represented Ireland, you know, and they've been great ambassadors, of course. But it was just time for a shake-up in Ireland, and it was time to do something new. I qualified once in the last 10 years. It was just time to do something different and really rip up the rule book. And it's the first time Ouija pop is ever going to be heard on the Eurovision stage, because Bambi literally created Ouija pop.
Was Bambi like popular, known artist in Ireland before?
No, actually, I'd never heard of them. until the leak of the 6 Eurosong finalists was circulated. So when I saw the leak that was going around, I thought, wow, this Bambi Thug character, I'd never heard of them before, didn't know anything about them. And the more I looked into it, I thought, oh wow, this act has an image for sure. Very, very different, very, very striking. Totally not Ireland at the Eurovision. And here we had Bambi, who was just this, force of nature almost. And it was just completely, it took me by surprise, to be honest. So it was all, all very, very interesting and exciting. They had different looks for, each of their songs, like for Egregore, they're dressed up as the devil, Satan, and other songs, they have a different image, like the cover art that you see, the motion graphics that you see on their Spotify, shows a character with a hat, quite a tall and pointy hat, like with three spikes on them. And they're in a silhouette and, they're really striking colors and whatnot. Like I thought, wow, this act could be really, really fun and really creative and just so imaginative and outside of the box. And yeah, it's crazy. Really, really crazy.
But now it's crazy, right? Like after she won, I can see the complete shift, not just in like Euro funds, but especially in Ireland. But I see like the Ireland is on their feet. It's like finally they love Eurovision again.
Absolutely. There's a lot of media attention for Bambi at the minute. You look at the big newspapers in Ireland, the big, press organizations, they've been writing about Bambi all week. If you look on Spotify on the Viral 50, 4 of Bambi's songs are in the top 50, the most streamed songs in Ireland. So Doomsday Blue obviously being first. But then you've got Tsunami, which is the 7th most streamed song, or the 7th most viral song in Ireland at the minute. Egregore is in the top 30 as well, and Love Bites. So I haven't seen that kind of enthusiasm, excitement for a Eurovision act, this level of excitement for Bambi, or for a Eurovision act rather. And that's wonderful to see, and I hope it continues.
What is the most connected word, or maybe more words, a sentence, according to Bambi and Eurovision in Ireland?
Bambi has gotten so much attention. A lot of that attention has been obviously very positive. The positive is that, this is a change in direction for Ireland. This is something, all of the ingredients are there for a really good Eurovision moment for Ireland. We're not playing it safe anymore. But then there's the other side of it where, it's, some of the stuff that Bambi has been getting has been quite, some of the bad stuff that Bambi has been getting has been quite, I would consider it abusive. And it's sad, because this is a person who is putting themselves out there. They're representing their country on the biggest stage in the world in May. They're going to do Ireland proud. The performance I saw on Friday night was the best Eurosong performance I have ever seen, to be honest with you. Granted, it's not a very high bar, of course, but that does factor in Jedward with lipstick. So, it's all very positive, and it does feel like a change in direction. That's how I would describe Bambi and Eurovision this year in Ireland, a change in direction. I would say that Ireland is definitely on the map this year when it comes to the Eurovision. Because people would have watched, they would have watched our last couple of acts and they would have said, oh, that's nice. And then they would have moved on and they would have forgotten by the time, Garia has performed Cha Cha Cha, Loreen has performed Tattoo, Cornelia Jacobs for Sweden 2 years ago, they would have forgotten about the Irish Act and they wouldn't have been compelled to vote for Ireland in the way that they would have been compelled to vote for Sweden, or they would have been compelled to vote for Finland. Yeah, so it does feel like we're part of the conversation this year and not just a footnote. That is so refreshing. From my own perspective as an Irish Eurovision fan, that is just so refreshing. Like, we're actually a central part of the discussion around Eurovision this year. I think it's awesome. We are in a difficult semi-final. We are up against it. And, we're up against, some very, very, very strong Eurovision countries. We're up against Ukraine, we're up against Finland, we're up against Lithuania, Portugal, a few others, Serbia, so it is going to be difficult to get out of that semi-final because, I think Croatia will go for Baby Lasagna, and that has been getting a lot of attention. Weeby Blogs had a video where the title was, "Could Baby Lasagna win the Eurovision in 2024?" So that shows just how much attention there's going to be on Baby Lasagna from Croatia. Usually it's 3 to 5 countries qualify from the first half, and between 5 and 7 qualify from the second half. It's never happened that more countries have qualified from the first half, and that does make me worry for Bambi a little because there will be an upset. There is going to be an upset because that's a very, very, very strong semi-final.
Mm-hmm. Whatever I think about the song, the performance was clean, but there is no professionals to be judging it. Do you think this can be a plus or a minus for Bambi to qualify? That it's only people voting?
Case, I actually think it's a plus, to be honest with you, because it is so unpredictable. And yes, of course, people are not going to know what to think of it when they see it. Many of them for the first time in the semi-final. But I actually think that not having juries helps Bambi quite a lot, actually. Older jurors, more conservative jurors might mark down a song that is this out there and is this daring, for lack of a better word. I mean, look, I'm just guessing when it comes to the juries. But I would say in this case, yeah, it's a very good song actually for Bambi. And also, I think it's important to mention as well that I think a lot of countries in Eastern Europe, so the likes of Serbia, Ukraine, who are also in the same half as us, like they're going to be, they do have a soft side for experimental music and for music that's different. I mean, they sent Luke Black last year, Serbia, who's actually friends with Bambi, and that qualified. Granted, it just made it in, but there is an appreciation for that. I do think I'm not an expert in this, of course, but people in the comment section can always say that, people in Eastern Europe, when they watch this, they can say, yes, this is the sort of thing, that we do have a soft spot for. But I do have the feeling that in places like Serbia and Ukraine, there is a soft spot for this kind of music and for music that's different. Dare I say Finland as well.
Bambi Thug's becoming popular. I really hope Ireland just listen to all Bambi's music and rise her numbers. Rise her numbers on Spotify and YouTube and everywhere. And just say like, this artist is from Ireland and we are proud. And it's not just about the Eurovision song. Just please don't make it only about Eurovision song, because that, in my opinion, that would be a shame. That would be a shame, and I believe them deserves much more attention for the general music. It's not about how Bambi looks, it's the artistic choice. I think that's cool, and I also believe that actually Bambi can be the one motivational, whatever I think about Doomsday Blue, because that's, after all, maybe not that important in the wider picture. Hopefully for Ireland this is a kick on. This is a new era for Ireland. And you know what? For Catholic country with a lot of controversies, this can be a good signal, maybe not just in the way of music. Maybe this is much more important than we think nowadays. But Tell me what you think. Write me in the comments below. Who is Bambi Thug for you? And don't write me that you love Doomsday Blue. I know you love it. But write me what do you think about the other songs, about her creation, about the things and stuff she's doing, and if the mania still continues. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!